welcome to the Happy Success Show, where we are all about living a happy and successful life. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alan Crow, and I am the Happy Success Guy. So, this is my first, what we're going to call, a podcast. I guess that's what we'll call this. Um, and I'm kind of excited about doing this. Matter of fact, I am so excited about doing this that I just decided to dive in. It's 6 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, and I say, you know what? Let's do this. So, this evening we are going to talk about doing it with purpose. Doing it with purpose. I think most of us understand that before you go and do something, anything that you do, you should have a purpose for it, right? Like, for instance, me with this podcast. What is my purpose in doing this podcast? Well, primarily, my purpose in doing this podcast is just to bring some ideas to you, bring some ideas to people who might not have heard the ideas. Now, understand the ideas that I bring out, none of these are new ideas. None of them. None of these are somehow out of Alan's brilliant mind, right? Absolutely not. Most of these ideas have been talked about for years and years, and but here's the thing: not everybody has heard the ideas. There are people out there, and you may be one of them, who haven't heard some of the ideas that I put out there. And if you haven't heard these ideas, and these ideas are super important, okay, and that's kind of my purpose. You know, these ideas are important. I want people to know these ideas. I want people to hear these ideas. You know, no matter whose ideas they are, they need to be heard because they're important. One of the things that I've been doing lately is kind of a series on a do it series. You know, how do you do different things? You know, you want to do it with meaning. You want to just do it. But right now I want to talk about doing things with purpose. Doing things with purpose. Winston Churchill said, "It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something." And that is so true. We should all be determined to live for, in fact, something. I wrote a blog article earlier, and one of the things that I read was an article by a Stephen Stosny, PhD. He wrote in Psychology Today, the June 20th, 2022 online edition. He wrote, as one of his key points, he said that happiness in life is a byproduct of meaning and purpose. Further, he went on to say, a sense of meaning and purpose rises from behaving consistently in accordance with your deepest values. A sense of meaning and purpose rises from behaving consistently in accordance with your deepest values. But the most important part there to me is happiness in life is a byproduct of meaning and purpose. Think about that. If you just drift through life without having purpose to what you're doing, without feeling like there's meaning to it, how can you be happy? How can you find a sense of fulfillment? And really, that's what happiness is, right? That happiness is a personal sense of fulfillment. And the only way to be fulfilled is to have purpose, is to have meaning. Okay? My meaning, my purpose is to bring these ideas to people who need these ideas. You know, and people say, well, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on, you know, how you could be going anywhere. How do you know that people who need to hear this stuff or want to hear this stuff are listening to you? Well, you know, it's a true statement that when the student is ready, there's a teacher available. Okay, when there's a student ready, there is a teacher available. Now, that doesn't mean that just because someone thinks, oh, I wish I knew, that all of a sudden a teacher's going to pop up, right? That's not what that means. What it means is that if you go searching for something, you're going to find someone to tell you. And that is a big key point here. You know, when people really start to understand, hey, I'm not happy, hey, I don't seem to have any purpose, they start searching. You know, and if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you came searching for someone to help you find meaning and purpose. Okay? Now, when we talk about meaning and purpose, there are hundreds of thousands, millions of people out there that will say the only way that you can find meaning and purpose is through whatever religious figure you look to. Okay? I'm personally a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm not going to shove that down anybody's throat, because the meaning and purpose that I'm talking about is not that. Okay? I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about what you believe to be the long-term truth of the world. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, what is your truth that you're living right here, right now? Now, if you have as a key value, a core value of yours, if your religion is a core value and you live that core value, then certainly that can become a very big part of the purpose that I'm talking about and the meaning that I'm talking about. But here's my definition, I guess, of purpose. My definition of purpose is to be living based on your core values toward a set goal. Okay? Be living your core values toward a set goal. All right? I don't care what the goal is. I don't care what that purpose is. The point is that we all have a purpose, right? Our lives have meaning. The problem that we go through a lot of times is that we haven't really thought to look for that purpose, and we haven't thought to look for that meaning in our lives. And as a result, what happens is we end up depressed, we end up angry, we end up not caring, because we haven't found our purpose. We haven't found our meaning in life. And that is so important to being happy. You know, if you want to live a life that is going to be a life of happy successes, you have to know what your purpose is. You have to know your meaning. You have to know your goals in life. And that's what I'm here to try and help people do. I'm here to help you get to where you want to be, to your life of happiness, to your life of successes, to your life of prosperity, through you and your own mind, through you and your own purpose, because that's the only way that you can get there. Let me read this again, what he said. A sense of meaning and purpose rises from behaving consistently in accordance with your deepest values. A sense of meaning and purpose rises from behaving consistently in accordance with your deepest values. In other words, you take your deepest values, your core values, and you start living consistently with those, and you're going to find meaning. You're going to find purpose. And when you start finding those things, he said, happiness in life is a byproduct of meaning and purpose. So if you want happiness, it is a byproduct of knowing and living your meaning and purpose. And that's why what I do with program that I have, the Happy Success Method, is I walk people through the process of really digging down and finding your core values and finding the things that fit together in your life that help you bring about the happiness, the successes that can only come through living your core values. Okay? So that's what I'm here. That's what I'm doing. Soon I'm going to take this, I think, and make it a call-in show. Or I might not do that for a while. I think I think what I'm going to start doing is taking emails. Just taking emails at first, email questions, email whatever. You have something that you want to say, you want me to talk about, just send me an email, and you can send that to Alan at thehappysuccess.com. Alan, Allen, at thehappysuccess.com. And I will look at those and go through some of those and maybe just start, in each one of my shows. I want to really focus my shows on my blogs. Okay. I want to take my blog topic and bring it over to this format, to the podcast format, I guess. But at the same time, it would be really cool if I could do another segment where I went through questions, or if you send something in, I could read it on air or whatever and go through it. That would be really awesome. I think that would be a great place for me to take this to. But I do think I want to keep it in a short format. I think I'd like to keep it no longer than 15 minutes or so. And speaking of that, it is 6:15, which means I have been on here for right at about 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut off today. And thank you for anyone that has been watching. And, the format that I have going on here in front of me right now, I can't see if anybody's watching. I can't see if anybody's commenting. And so I apologize for that. Hopefully by next Wednesday evening, I will get that fixed. And I will plan on being back here next Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. for another episode. All right. So you guys, thank you very much for being here. And I will see you next time. Have a great night.